Okay, this is about the third time I'm trying to record this. This is our tenant. I apologize for the shaky webcam thing here, but wanted to do a video overview of what's happened and what's changed in 4.0 as we finally finish it up. First off, I'd like to say I am very sorry that this did not happen faster or sooner, but we experienced the growth spurt right at the end of January, and December, January was where we were all ready to just leave it go. And then we just had so many folks coming in and a lot of colonies coming in and a lot of ideas, and we had to make the change because I don't know, in the end of this year we may have 20,000 profiles, and changing anything after that will be almost impossible. So we wanted to make it sooner than later, get this thing nipped in the butt, and get the new mechanics all squared away. So what changed? The magic system runs more like professions now, where we had in our old magic system we had a 10 plus skills per element, and then we had our general magics. We've eliminated that, the redundancy. So basically you had damage in fire, damage in earth, damage in water, damage in shadow. Well, we thought, why? That's too many spells. They all do the same thing. Make one spell in the general magics area and eliminate all the redundancy. It was, from a playability aspect, there was too much stuff. Couldn't memorize it. Players were confused all the time. Was that blockable? How much does this thing can't do this or this, or everything was just all across the board. It was confusing. It was hard to administer, and it was hard to get players to players see it and they would look and they'd be like, screw this, I'm out of here. This is too much, too confusing. And so that really was the pivotal moment when, back in November, we started working on 5.0 already, and we came up with, let's do magic like we did professions. And the system was, we had the elders and the chief elders and the overlords. We were all kind of hashing out what it would be like for 2015, and we came to the realization that, wow, this would work really great. And it was early enough in 2014 where we could probably still put it in. Nobody liked that idea, but again, if we had to change this and refund a bunch of spellcasters, now there's a couple hundred, whereas at the end of the year there could be thousands, and the system couldn't handle it. So we had to do something. We had to make an executive decision to launch this before we could playtest the core mechanics, even though we play tested them in professions. So we knew they worked through all last season. We never tried it in Magic. But everything that we had written up was just, it worked. So a lot of the spells that you saw in Magic are still there. The good ones that people wanted and used are there. The ones that nobody bought over the last 4 years, they disappeared. Um, the players were telling us they didn't think that that was a valuable skill. Okay, we'll take it away. We'll leave room for other things that are more, that players come up with and bring to their elders. The elders play it out in their games. They bring it up to the chiefs. We vote on it, and it goes in the system, or it gets tweaked or whatever. So that's how the system works. You have to bring it up to your elders in the games, or in the practice sessions, I should say, not at games. Games are like game on time. Don't go out of character. Play your character. Um, so Magics we took from like 50 plus the generals and such, to like 27 skills, 27 abilities. Magic became much stronger, whereas there's only a lesser damage spell that's blockable. The rest of the stuff is effect spells that are unblockable and damage spells that are unblockable. So, in a reality standpoint, Magic is much more powerful in that regard. Now you still have spell block, you still have ways you can block spells, but for the most part, um, Magic is all unblockable, except for anything that's like lesser fire damage, lesser water damage. If they put lesser in the front of the cast, it's blockable. And so that's again, they'll say they're different element depending on what it is, but overall, it's still the same ability. It takes 1 damage. Greater fire damage, greater water damage. Okay, that's unblockable, but it still does 1 damage. So a hit counts as 1 damage, a spell counts as 1 damage. It's a damage. Um, So that's, we're trying to make it as simplistic as possible. Incants went all across the same now. They're 5 to 10 seconds. We say 10 seconds, and the effects, unless they're listed with a specific time, are 10 minutes. So it's 10-second incant, 10-minute effect that you'll take. So if you don't remember or you don't know something, rule of thumb, incant for 10 seconds. Rule of thumb for those who are taking the effect, it plays for 10 minutes. Unless it's a damage, instant, it's an instant something or other. So that'll make it easier to remember. There's not 55 different spells, 30 of them use one thing, 20 use one thing. Well, that would be, it's just, there's not a lot of variances, and that makes it easier for people to remember. Specialization. You have to specialize in a element to do anything. So you're going to pull the power from that element, which allows you greater flexibility when it comes to saying you are a fire mage. Okay, you're calling upon the fire element when you're casting. It makes it better for lore. It makes it better for costuming. It binds you to an element, which allows you to roleplay that element better. In the old system, you had all these different spells and all this stuff, but there was no specialization, so it was hard for casters to to say that stuff or to use it in game, and they weren't using it. And again, that was broke. We're about immersion. We're about playing the game. We're not a system of let's put 6,000 rules on this thing and 5,000 abilities and nobody's going to know anything. Let's just make it immerse. Let's make it playable. That's the thing. That's really what we're trying to do here. So I do apologize though to the casters. It was this wasn't designed to be put in before 2015. You have to we give players 5 to 10 months to, okay, here's what's going to happen. Give your feedback. That's the way we want to do it. We want to do it slow. We don't want to do it fast. But again, if I stayed up all night last night and refunded 1.1 million experience points to the spellcasters. So basically, we're resetting spells. They didn't have any element specialization before, so basically they're getting a free character respec in casting in that regard. And if you don't want to do casting, I don't know what to do at this point because there's just so much stuff to do yet. But, I encourage you, play it out first. Try the magic system before you get all crazy about, I can't do this or this. You'll find magic is actually more powerful. And it's going to be more playable. And so, again, we've been working on this for a few months already. We wanted to wait, but we couldn't because there was just too many people coming on board, and changing it later wouldn't be possible. We didn't want to be stuck with a system that's antiquated. We wanted something that was very player-friendly. I do give my hats off to the chiefs and the elders who have just worked tirelessly with me to try to really come up and get this thing moving. I pushed you guys hard and gals. I pushed you guys and gals hard. We had meeting after meeting and calling people late at night, texting people early in the morning, getting it done, trying to work around work without getting fired. It's just been it's been a wild roller coaster. Not to mention all the you guys are getting ready for your events. You are promoting your events. You're scheduling. You're scouting. You don't have time to do this stuff this late into the season, and we're 2 months behind already on rulebook stuff. So we didn't want it to be that way. January 1st, next year, we want everything ready. So when that new year opens, the new book is on the site, polished and ready to go. And so that is our goal. That is our goal, and we almost did it this year. We would have almost done it if we wouldn't have to do this stuff. But, that's just the way we had to do it. So I'm rambling. I do apologize. Play the system, try it out. We reduced levels because now we have a lot less stuff to do. And those spellcasters that I did refund, you're going to keep your level as just a grandfathered in, so your level's not going to drop back down. So if you had a big level, you may never actually be able to get to that level again, but you'll have that level because you were in the system before it changed. And that's our way of honoring, saying thank you. Roll with the punches. You're a high level still. You're going to be lacking some of the abilities until you catch up. And again, we have, for 5.0, we do have some other abilities we're talking about. You're going to enjoy this. but again, we're play testing it. We're not gonna release what it is because a lot of stuff will change, way change before it goes out in 2015. So we took the level requirements down and everything. We took the XP requirements down. We soft beta tested this yesterday. Players, there wasn't enough XP in the system. Okay, we tweaked it. We brought it down. We made it so you could do it. But at the end of the day, there's only 27 magic skills, folks, and they're going to be a little bit more expensive. But there's way more ways to gain XP now. We're doing the raffle XPs. You get posting XP. You get, colonies get their own stuff. So, I mean, they're doing role plays and team speak, and they're doing crafting and lore sessions, and, colonies have control of their own colony vaults, so they're giving XP for just all these lore writing sessions and all this stuff. So there's a lot of ways to earn XP. So, don't be like, oh my gosh, because there's definitely ways to be part of the stories, do a lot of things, and you can get the XP. But I do understand as a caster myself. I saved up for just months and months to try to get justice and these other skills, and now they're gone, and it's like but it's for the better of the system, and the new system's more powerful, and I have more choices. As my character, I have more choices. I don't have to specialize in something I didn't want to. Now I can actually develop a story around something that might be a little different than what most people are used to, and that's pretty cool. So, try and get your head around it a little bit. And we'll be doing more videos. I couldn't write this all down in the changelog. This is the only place you're going to see this is in the changelog. Thank you guys and gals. Thanks everybody for just bearing with us. Try to stay positive. If something's a little messy yet, we'll tweak it. We'll make it right in the next few days, and then we'll lock the system down. Once it goes in the rule book, it's not getting changed. Once we pay for books and publishing, that's it. It's done. So, and we got to get that out because games are happening. Sun's out, snow's thawing, and everybody's really anxious to get outside and go have fun and play. And that's what it's about, we at the end of the day, technically, okay, well, is it fun? Did you have fun? Can you do it and have fun? If it's too complex and you can't have fun about it, it's gone. So, again, I'm rambling. I apologize. Lots of coffee, way not enough sleep. And I just can't say enough about everybody. You guys are all great. All guys and gals, you have no idea how much of a dream this is to see so many people living their characters and growing it. And we want to put more lore in now. Write up your adventures in your colony scrolls. And it doesn't have to be real. It's in the eyes of your character. So, I mean, telling fibs. People are literally in the backbone writing like mini quests in there and such, and how they experienced it and what they thought happened in the world. And those are just scrolls that they threw in the wall at locations. I mean, it's no different than going to a location, pulling a scroll out of the wall and reading it as you would in real life if you were there. So it's not metagaming in that regard. So, use it. That's, and it becomes a great account too, so you can remember stuff when it's 3 seasons old, or more. So, I'll leave you with that. We'll continue to work on this stuff and get it finished up. If you have questions about it, write it in the rulebook section. The elders, myself, we do have the Guardians program in now, so the Guardians are the ones who process the Skills Training Center. Before it was just Ufnar and myself. And I put a lot of stress on Ufnar. Thanks, buddy. You're the best. Gosh, darn it, I couldn't do it without you. And Ronan, and you guys are just, dang, I'm going to start crying. But we have more Guardians now. We have 8 Guardians, 7 or 8 Guardians. And we're tag teaming every day to get those skills processed as quickly as possible. From a player aspect, please get them in ahead of time, as soon as all this magic is hashed out. the more time you give us to do something, the better chance that everything will be right and you'll have it when you need it when you go to a game. We see so many people submitting stuff last minute, and it just destroys the system. And then you print off, well, see, I did it last night or this morning before I left, and now you put the chief elders and elders in a tough spot where, do they allow it or shouldn't they? And I'm trying to tell the chiefs and the elders, I'm like, look, if it's not in your profile, you didn't give the skills training center enough time to do it. So from a role play aspect, your character didn't have the time to get the skill or learn it proficiently from a role play aspect. So you wouldn't technically have the skill yet. And so many of the chiefs have agreed to be harder on players who do the last minute submissions. So please, and just it's just so much of an overload for the overlords, and now the guardians. If we process 500,000 XP in a night, and that's just pages, that's hundreds and hundreds of submissions. That's not fair to the volunteers who are doing this. So please send it out way ahead of time if you can. If you have questions, let us know. But together we make this community better. Together we make this game better. And we've now opened up the rule book for some better ideas, for more original ideas, more playable ideas for magics and professions and skills for races and classes. We want to get some more of those in there. And things that really make sense. And that's up to you. That's the users that'll tell us what makes sense and what doesn't. So it has to look good on paper, but it really has to really work on the ground. Almost there. We'll see you in the games. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know or let one of the elders know. Catch us on TeamSpeak. Don't be afraid to sign up on TeamSpeak. It's free. We got a dedicated server, so we can get as much of your questions done by voice as you can. We'll see you in the games. Thanks for playing.